I made this in one of your pottery classes. It's terrible.
Parks and Recreation is a political sitcom set in the fictional town of Pawnee, Indiana. It follows a team of local government employees at the Pawnee Parks and Recreation Department, with Amy Poehler's enthusiastic character Leslie Knope at the centre. Parks and Recreation was written by the prolific writing duo of Greg Daniels, known for The Simpsons and King of the Hill, and Michael Schur, known for The Good Place and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The writer's most notable collaboration was the US remake of the Ricky Gervais sitcom The Office.
All my kids are away and...
Gross! No, it's Jerry's sex night. That ruins sex and tonight.
Parks and Recreation began in April 2009 and ended in February 2015 with an impressive 7-season run and a total of 125 episodes.
We did it! This whole company is ours!
Oh, no, it's not.
That's mine!
Andy?
It's all mine!
For the record, I did invent this game. But it doesn't even matter because I won and I get another chance to prove that there is something truly special about Pawnee.
Yes, there is. It's the home of the architect.
Here are 15 facts all about Parks and Recreation, including why the character of Leslie Knope had to be changed after season 1, the minor role Nick Offerman nearly played over Ron Swanson, and how Parks and Recreation was almost a spin-off of The Office. After some audience research, a percentage of the viewers fed back to the Parks and Recreation creators that Leslie Knope seemed unintelligent and ditzy during the first season, and her position and goals seemed unbelievable. Therefore, in upcoming episodes, the writers Greg Daniels and Michael Schur took extra care in mirroring real-life political events, such as the Pawnee government being shut down, and to include cameos from political figures such as John McCain, Joe Biden, vice president at the time, and Michelle Obama, First Lady of the United States, during the show, all in the hope that the Pawnee City Hall employees looked more believable in the eyes of the audience.
Hey, here's someone who may be able to convince you. Hello, Mrs. Obama.
Hey, Grant, how you doing?
Amy Poehler was hired by Daniels and Schur before the concept of Parks and Recreation was established, and without having a script for the pilot episode in development. She had left Saturday Night Live, the NBC sketch comedy show, after 7 years to join the cast of Parks and Recreation. During the first season of Parks and Recreation, Poehler had reservations that Knope was going to turn into a Michael Scott character, who was Steve Carell in The Office. So she was fully on board with the character changes. The initial production of Parks and Recreation was delayed due to Amy Poehler's pregnancy. Filming started after she gave birth.
Leslie, I typed your symptoms into the thing up here and it says you could have network connectivity problems.
Parks and Recreation producers Greg Daniels and Michael Schur were well known for producing the US remake of The Office with Steve Carell, and initially Parks and Recreation was going to be a spin-off from the show. They spent 2 months trying to devise the planned spin-off, however they couldn't settle on an idea. They then decided to pursue a storyline surrounding local government where an official tried to reclaim their reputation and build a political career after a fall from grace. This idea didn't end up being used for Leslie Knope, but was explored in Adam Scott's character Ben Wyatt, who comically ran for mayor at the age of 18 in his hometown Partridge, Minnesota, and blew their finances on Icetown, a failed winter sports venue. There are similarities with The Office and Parks and Recreation, most notably the mockumentary style introducing characters in first-person interviews.
Oh my God. That's the whole thing. That's 3 weeks of work. You're gonna be okay.
Greg Daniels and Michael Schur wanted to originally name Parks and Recreation Public Service before settling on the iconic but simple title of the department it follows. The name Public Service was dropped due to potential negative connotations with the NBC television network.
I don't understand. I've tinkered with this recipe for years. Granted, it's been a long time since I've had a hamburger. This is better.
For research into local government processes, the writers of Parks and Recreation spent time in Los Angeles City Council meetings where they observed how employees behaved, the order of events, and how the community spoke in public meetings. Similar public forums ended up being a regular feature on Parks and Recreation, complete with some brilliant opposition from Pawnee residents. Perhaps their research was why these scenes were so memorable. Michael Schur told the Los Angeles Times in an interview that the inspiration for Ron Swanson's anti-government demeanour was inspired by a real government official that he met in Burbank, who claimed to not believe in his job's mission. Nick Offerman, who plays Ron Swanson, is actually a big fan of woodworking in real life, the same as his character, so much so that he released an instructional DVD on how to build a canoe.
So it learns information about me?
In keeping with The Office's cinema verite fly-on-the-wall mockumentary style, Parks and Recreation was filmed with a single camera setup without the presence of an audience. The mockumentary style highlighted how different characters behaved in public and in private, something that fitted well with the local government setting. The producers ended up filming lots more footage than was necessary for the final edit, much like a real documentary would. The pilot episode of Parks and Recreation was 43 minutes long in its first draft, and then had to be cut down to the aired 22 minutes.
I'm going to air a negative ad. It's out of my hands now. But you know what? I'm actually feeling very zen about this.
Are you Ben Wyatt?
Yeah.
Okay, I need that DVD in the control room.
Parks and Recreation producers have re-released some episodes as extended producers' cuts, which are available on streaming services, making use of some of the disregarded scenes from the first edits. There are a total of 16 extended Parks and Recreation episodes, and they are, in Season 1, Rock Show, in Season 2, The Setup, The Master Plan, and Freddy Spaghetti, in Season 3, Harvest Festival, The Fight, and Lil Sebastian, in Season 4, End of the World, The Debate, Bus Tour, Win, Lose or Draw, in Season 5, Halloween Surprise, Emergency Response, and in Season 6, Second Chance, Flu Season 2, and Moving Up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world famous Lil Sebastian.
What?
Yes!
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
I never thought I'd get to meet him.
It's really him! Well done, Leslie. Well done!
The exterior shot of Pawnee's City Hall in Parks and Recreation were actually filmed at Pasadena City Hall in California, as well as several of the corridors. The Parks Department interior and courtyard were filmed on a large studio set. Eagleton, which is known as Pawnee's rival and the wealthier town without raccoon infestation, was filmed in San Marino, California. The episode Harvest Festival included a large festival scene, which was filmed on location in Los Angeles Pierce College. Producer Michael Schur claims that the ending drone shot of the festival was the most expensive shot in the entire Parks and Recreation history. The map of Pawnee is actually the map of Muncie, Indiana, flipped over. Incidentally, Muncie is noted as Gary Gergich's favourite place in the world.
This is the Pawnee side of our border with Eagleton. And this is the Eagleton side.
The Parks and Recreation producers constructed the pit, which featured in the first and second seasons. It was dug at an undeveloped property in Van Nuys in the San Fernando Valley, Los Angeles. The production went door to door asking residents whether they could dig on their land for the show, and once created, the pit was guarded 24/7.
And the hardest part about living in this pit is probably keeping my suit pressed.
BMI music consultants were hired by the Parks and Recreation team to find a theme song for the show in just 3 weeks before it went to air. BMI sent an email out to prospective composers giving them 5 days to submit their ideas, and the winner would be paid $7,500 for full rights to NBC. The other prominent music tracks in the show were sung by Chris Pratt as Andy Dwyer and the fictional band Mouse Rat. The band's songs include Sex Hair, Lil Sebastian, Anne, and The Pit. Every Mouse Rat song contains the lyrics "Spread your wings and fly" or "You deserve to be a champion." Chris Pratt modelled his singing voice on the Pearl Jam singer Eddie Vedder.
I don't think you should play any of those songs for a group of 6-year-olds.
Whoa, wait, 6-year-olds? Did you book us a gig at a kid's party?
In 2018, Parks and Recreation finished streaming on Netflix and was purchased by NBC for their upcoming streaming service Peacock, which was named due to the company's iconic logo, and was released in October 2020. The deal was said to be worth 9 figures according to Variety.
Is this everybody?
Ann took a cab. Tom's in the trunk, Jerry's on the roof. All right, where to first?
Your mother's butt.
I'm so alone. If even one of you thinks about dry heaving in my car, you're all walking home.
Actor Nick Offerman, who plays Ron Swanson in Parks and Recreation, is actually married to the actor who plays the promiscuous Pawnee librarian, Tammy 2, Megan Mullally. Outside of Parks and Recreation, Mullally is best known for playing Karen Walker in Will and Grace since 1998. She also starred in 30 Rock as Bev and in Bob's Burgers as Gail.
Hello, Tammy.
Oh, hello, Ron. I didn't see you come in. I was just checking myself for scoliosis. Jerky?
I have never checked a book out of the library.
Oh my God, she's amazing.
I am in a healthy relationship now, Tammy.
A relationship? With whom?
A lovely, intelligent, self-possessed pediatric surgeon named Wendy.
Sounds like a real whore.
Chris Pratt's dim yet lovable character Andy Dwyer was only meant to be a guest star in season 1 as Ann Perkins' layabout boyfriend. However, the cast got on with him so well that the producers Greg Daniels and Michael Schur decided to write him into the series as a regular. Chris Pratt was praised for his physical comedy so much that they would frequently include the line, "Andy does something physical," into the script. During the memorable scene in which Andy Dwyer turns up to Ann Perkins' house naked, Chris Pratt actually took his clothes off, and her reaction was used as the final take. He was formally given a warning by the production company and was urged to take it seriously. He disclosed in an interview that the written warning is now framed and hung on his wall at home.
Close your eyes.
No, it actually was from up higher. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Actor Aubrey Plaza was inspired by her own sister to create April Ludgate's sarcastic, dark, and deadpan character. Her on-screen sister is named Natalie, which is the same name as her real-life sister.
You know what? I think men are better than women.
She's kidding.
No, I'm not. They provide for us, and we must obey them because they are our masters.
April, stop it.
Leslie, you'll never land a beau with that domineering tone.
You'd be forgiven for not remembering who on earth Mark is, but Mark Brandanowitz is Pawnee's city planner and Leslie's former one-time lover, who left after the end of season 2. Before auditioning for his perfect role of Ron Swanson, Nick Offerman actually read for Mark Brandanowitz. Brandanowitz was played by Paul Schneider, and his exit made way for Rob Lowe's character Chris Traeger, who became the new Pawnee city planner.
Do you need to go to the dentist, Ron?
I don't like dentists. Just a second.
Hey!
No, no.
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 What the?
Oh my God!
I'm sorry, everybody. What were we talking about?
Jay Jackson, who plays the eccentric broadcast journalist and presenter of You Heard with Purd on Parks and Recreation's Pawnee TV, was for many years an actual journalist and news anchor in San Diego and Los Angeles. It was after his retirement that he landed a small role in Dexter as a reporter, and since then Jackson has appeared in Scandal, The Closer, and The Mentalist, as well as Parks and Recreation as Purd.
Hey guys, how'd it go?
Well, there were some sticky moments.
Let's go to the videotape.
Mayfair Games were the company contracted to make Ben Wyatt's complicated board game into a real professional playable game with a full set of rules. Due to its excruciating complexity, it was never made for mass market, but it was played at a 2014 convention for charity, raising money for an Indiana food bank. Fans of Parks and Recreation paid $100 each to play in one of 33 positions, and the main scorekeeper position was auctioned, totaling $20,000 US.
You forgot about the essence of the game. It's about the cones.
You came.
Yeah, I had some encouragement.
Your sweater's on inside out.
And backwards. It's been a tough morning.